Nufriend Jeremy 2022 with REBISAR&DUANEVA. This experience began in a tent that in the physical realm I have purchased. I had the awareness that I was in Baja Mexico, and as I sat inside the tent, I could see the light coming through the walls, and I could smell the canvas. I noticed the front entrance was unzipped, and the sunlight was coming through. Seeing this prompted me to step out into the open, and in that moment, Duane walked up to me from the right-hand side and said, "I want to show you something." Duane then crouched down and grabbed a handful of dirt in his hand, and I in turn leaned down and touched the ground and instantly took off into space above, where I saw myself objectively in a Superman suit. From this position, Duane came to my right side with ReBISAR on my left. There seemed to be a mutual focus and decided position to go to what was another realm. Both ReBISAR and Duane took off into a seemingly far position of light, and it seemed I went with them and then bounced back. I recognized that I truly needed to decide to go through this new adventure before me, and so it became so that I was positioned with these real guides in a blank type of space with a floating castle in front of me. This castle seemed to be made of crystal and looked like the Taj Mahal, and from behind it a ways and upward was a stream of white light flowing into a city in another realm. I came to the city gate and walked into the city, and I saw many residents who were doing all kinds of creative things. But I left this city rather quickly, and I came into a position where I could zoom past all the levels of creation up to the 6th level. I put my focus on the all-isness, and as I did this, I remembered something that was referenced in regards to our ears recognition new journey. When we are on our new journey, we cannot consider what the ears is with our mind and thoughts, but must be seen is real with the real awareness, the real you, that it cannot be considered with the literalized senses. And so I decided that from a position such as this, I should focus on what I can do as a benefit for saving the earth overall. And so I asked my real awareness, where is the best place for me to go in regards to this endeavor, and I was shown a number 4. I recognized this as a reference to the mental realm on the 4th level of this creation bubble, that is the home level of the Kalom god Grog, king of all sacrificial religions on Earth and most planets. And as I saw what I did, I realized facing him would be the best next step to appear at his castle, which to me in my particular way, seemed very similar to a haunted house from the outside. I approached the gates, which seemed rickety and rusty, and there were 2 guards in old knight armour of a black colour, and holding in their hands were poles with large axe-like heads and spear points on the top. They crossed their pole arms to stop me from getting too close to the gate, and in a flash on my right side a blonde woman appeared, and she asked me viciously, "What do you want?" I replied, "I'm here to see the Cal God." She asked me if I had an appointment, which I did not, and to this she pulled out a large leather-bound book that was bigger than her body. I could see it was a list of some sort, and she said to me, "You'll have to wait in a line." She said this with a type of wickedness, as we both knew by waiting in line I'd be waiting for who knows how long and how many lifetimes. But in that moment I came up with a creative response that enticed this lady's emotional senses and her literal mind, which in turn got me access to the castle directly, as the guards lifted their pole arms, and I walked through the gate and up the stairs, approaching a large door. This door was much larger than the average human, but it opened with minimal effort. The inside seemed to be much more refined than the outside. Columns of white stone lining the walkway of the immense area I now stood in, and a checkered floor beneath my feet, and above my head was what appeared to be no roof at all, but rather a direct opening into a space, with many stars and galaxies and planets in view. Visually stunning as it all was, there really was a dense feeling to it all. Something didn't match, as though the environment was a facade or an illusion. Moving forward about 100 feet down was a red throne for a large white mask that seemed to enlarge and shrink, as if to resemble breathing. But as this representation of the Cal, as I saw him now, as he became aware of me, it swelled in size, and looked down onto me, and asking only what it is I seek. I replied, "I've come seeking your great knowledge." But within myself, I was only being respectful to this entity and not agreeing to his authority. Part of him could see through my respectful gesture and my slight bow, but another part of him was enticed and rather moved by this play, and so we came to discuss what may be possible for the Earth. The Cal did want something more from me, though he spared no time in taking it, sending a tentacle-like projection made of a pale white light that creeped into the Superman suit I wore and stripped it away from my body. As this phenomenon occurred, I had to make a choice within my consciousness to decide to let it go and not react according to the personal self, but rather relate to my real awareness and recognize the suit is not of any importance, but rather the reality of it is what makes it so. In other words, the suit does not make me fly, nor does it give me any special ability, but rather all these things and more of anything that we may ever need, regardless of the situation or position, can be found within the endlessness of our true awareness, which is a part, the whole of all life, and the is already complete. So there is nothing we will ever be without, so long as we decide to utilize what's already available for us. And so, with the suit traded, we came to an agreement, but it seemed that in my moment of dealing with the workings of my consciousness, this large white mask seemed to be getting closer to me, and almost too slow for me to see. At that moment, Duane and REBISAR came into my view, and I could see them. I was able to utilize them as a point of reference, and with my focus and free will deciding, I was able to reposition myself away from the cowl and out of the castle immediately and safely alongside the golden guides, and we made our way back through the levels to my Earth body. October 2022.